This is Jonathan Lane from Fan Film Factor, and I'm in my bathrobe again because it's 7 o'clock in the morning for me, but 3 in the afternoon there in jolly old England, where Samuel Cockings and Marcus Churchill are taking some time off of a very, very busy shooting day to do a quick interview with me because I haven't had a chance to talk to Marcus yet. So, as long as he was there, I figured I'd talk to both of them. So, let me ask you guys first what I know it's been an incredibly busy day for you. How long have you been working together today, and what have you been doing?
It's a half day. It's a very busy half day.
Oh,
It's kind of a awkward cram before you fly to Scotland for a month. Yes, yeah, yeah. So 3 hours, but normally they're 7 or 8. So it's actually a quick, short day. It's kind of the deal.
okay. So 3 hours of doing what? What are you busy
I
creating
mean,
for us fans? Well, yes, obviously, but are you creating one fan film? Are you creating two, three, five, seven? How many are you doing today?
well, it's a multi-part something. You guys will see.
Oh, no details apparently. Okay, fine.
You'll
Uh,
see. But
okay,
yeah, multiple Harrimans, multiple parts.
multiple Harrimans, multiple parts. Okay, well, fair enough. Now, yeah, the character that you play is the great grandson of Captain Harriman of the Enterprise B, correct? And Marcus recently did a fan film called Fallen Heroes, and that was excellent. By the way, we'll talk about that in just a second. And then one that just came out, and I got a screener for that, and it didn't even have a title yet. So, Sam, do you know what that's going to be titled?
Yeah, Legacy Enterprise B. Yeah.
Legacy of the Enterprise B. Okay, so so lots of Enterprise being going on here. Uh, Marcus, you are a real actor, right? You're trained. You know
I
what you're
like to think
doing.
so.
What's your background? How were you trained?
I trained as an actor quite late. I mean, I was in my 30s, my mid 30s when I trained, which is how I met Sam because we were studying at the same place. He was doing filmmaking, and I was doing acting, and that's how we sort of fell into this because he was filming a thing. Sorry, I've got an eyelash. A thing called Temporal Anomaly,
That old thing.
that old thing, yeah, which is
Those old
busted on for 10
scientists.
years old now. Yeah, but I always wanted to be an actor, and sort of real life got in the way as I was growing up, and then I reached a position when I was in my 30s where I wasn't married, I wasn't tied into property or a mortgage, no ties or anything like that, and I thought if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. So, literally sold everything I owned, and went off and trained, and yeah, the rest is history. And I've never looked back. Life has just got a lot better ever since then.
It's not de age you then you look back at being young when I met you young.
Yeah, it does de-age me a lot. So.
And now you put in the whole family part of the equation too. Now you have one of those, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Time has passed considerably since then. So yeah, life has happened all over again. I got like a chance to have a second wind almost, and start again, do a reset. So
That's what,
yeah, it's been good.
so now acting is your primary profession. That's what you do for a living.
I like to think so. It's not always what I do most. Of being, in the acting profession, especially in this country, there's a lot of actors, but not a lot of parts. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I've got down as my profession and all my legal documents. So yeah,
A lot of theatre work.
more theatre than. I mean, I hope so. Yeah. I mean, I only sort of turned pro like 9 years ago, which in the profession is a very, very short amount of time. So I'm still very much building up rather than calming down. But yeah, no, I've just done Midsummer Night's Dream, in the theatre, and I'm off to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, if you guys have heard of that, over there. Doing that for a whole month this summer. So yeah, I think things have been busy this year. It's been really nice.
Okay, so I got to go quickly through all these questions because I don't have you for too long. So, what makes it unique? Since you're used to doing Shakespeare, for goodness sake, where you're acting in front of a green screen, what do you have to do differently as an actor to make this work?
Yeah, green screen acting it's a whole different animal, really, because usually in the theatre or even on a usual sort of film set, you've got your surroundings, you know where you are, you get a good idea of what the time frame is, what time of day it is. The period of time that you're in. And I'm not a massive Star Trek fan. I know of Star Trek and I've seen lots of it, and I'm well aware
What EPS conduit is.
what an EPS conduit is. But yeah, you're standing in front of a green screen, so you don't really know where you are, and sometimes even Sam doesn't know where I am. The stuff we filmed today is like, I'm not sure what bridge I'll put you on yet, but I'll figure it out later. So I don't know where I know I'm on a bridge. Yeah, I know I'm on a bridge, or I'm on a starship, or I'm on a planet. The stuff where we get to go out and do the outside things, where we're doing sort of location stuff, is much easier because you've got an idea of your surroundings and things like that. So the green screen is a bit of a strange one, because we're just literally in a room with a green curtain behind us.
And of course, you're staring at the not green, so you just get these VHS tapes in your face. I get the green, you get the VHS tapes.
I'm staring at a bookcase with various things on it. But you see the finished article, and there you are in front of all these elaborate sets and these spaceships flying around and having battles and stuff, and it's incredible. That the difference is amazing.
Oh, it comes out looking amazing. Yeah, I mean, Sam, you're knocking it out of the park. Because I was watching The Legacy of the Enterprise B very early this morning before going to sleep, and I was just, the shots in the runabout, for example, were just, it was so seamless that I was just like, I didn't even need to tell myself this was green screen. It was just like, okay, they're on a set. I'm seeing them in a runabout. It was amazing. Now, when you filmed that one, you were with Alexa, right? You did you do your green screen work together in the same place at the same time? Okay, cool.
Mostly.
Yeah. So sometimes we film separately, but for that one, we were in the same place, which is nice because Alexa's great. She's very easy to work with, and she's, she always turns up on time. She knows her lines, she knows her cues, she knows everything. So we know it's going to be a really sort of quick, efficient shoot day when Alexa's on set.
And you, of course, know your lines too, because you're.
Oh yeah.
It's rare for both sides to learn the lines.
Yeah, sometimes you turn up and someone else isn't quite there, and it takes a bit longer. But
it's fluid with her, can't you? It just goes and then
you can just riff it.
And a 3-minute take, just that's the entire scene. Right? Yeah, there we go, do it again. Yeah.
Well, that's true. So when you're doing something like The Fallen Heroes, that is a much larger, longer script. I mean, that was 15 minutes of dialogue or monologue in that case. Are you also going off of memorized lines for that, or do you have the help of a teleprompter?
Well,
30 pages, Marcus?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. No, it depends how much time I've had to sort of learn lines between other commitments and family and things like that. If Sam's got an idea for something and we've got like a week in which to get it scheduled and filmed, there's a lot of auto cue going on, and cleverly placed cameras to make it look like I'm looking into a screen or talking to someone else. But more often than not, it's all just done from memory. It's just go through your lines at home until you turn up, and then just fingers crossed you don't make any mistakes while you're shooting. But I prefer to be off book, if you know what I mean, just because you can get into the character much more then, because it's coming from here. And it's coming from here, whereas if you're reading something, you concentrate, your brain's engaged on the reading, and you're not always 100% focused on the acting. So I'd much prefer to do it from memory.
Even the annoying technical jargon that you have to get right. The star dates, the warp, is the non-negotiable, like 9.6 is the reason 9.6.
Yeah.
The
the techno-babble stuff is my Achilles heel with these things. Absolutely. Learning lines is not necessarily a problem.
By the way, you're not alone.
Which I'm very fortunate with. But.
You're not alone in the technobabble being your personal demon, because apparently that is the history of Star Trek is technobabble just being something that they trip over. So
we had a line in Temporal Anomaly that I just couldn't remember it, and we did so many takes. And I got through it finally, and then a few weeks later, Sam messaged me and said, "Oh, we've got to re-record that. We've got to overdub that because the sound wasn't working."
There was a mower outside.
So I had to go into a studio and do it all over again into a microphone and try and match up my already awful take with my already awful overdubbing. It was just pure hell, and it scarred me for life.
Remodulate the plasma containment.
That's something like that.
Yeah. It also vibrated too. Yeah.
Horrific dialogue.
The second EPS subjunction. There we go.
Yeah. I was going to say, because one of the things about doing pickup lines for folks that are watching is you can't just re-record your dialogue. You have to look to see what your lips are doing so that it can match. So not only you're doing these, horrific tongue twisters, but you're doing these tongue twisters to the actual cadence and the order and the time and timing that you did it before. So
yeah, it's a real mind blower.
I try not to. I'd always try and get right the first time, so I don't like dubbing.
Alrighty. Pardon me. So anyway, at this point, how many of Sam's films have you been in? I have lost count. Have you lost count too?
It's a great unanswerable question, that one, because there have literally been so many. And it's the standing joke that he always releases everyone else's films first. Because I was like one of the first to come back after Temporal Anomaly, and I've had like 2 films out, I think. And even the Legacy of Enterprise B was supposed to come out a few weeks ago, and it's still not come out.
I mean, yeah.
Still not come out.
Project cancelled. Okay, we had to
Still not come out.
It's done. I mean, it's done.
Well, here's a secret. Here's a secret. Here's a secret. I'm not going to release this interview until after it comes out. This is going to come out when the Enterprise B comes out, so everybody will have seen it. You will have seen it. Have you seen it yet? Have you seen the screener yet? Do you know what you look like?
I've seen it. Sam sent me a link to sort of the rough cut, probably the same version you've seen. And I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. I really do. It was a good fun one to shoot. And again, it's got the exterior stuff I mentioned earlier, so you've got a bit of an idea where your bearings are. And
it's quite broad, that one.
Yeah, and as I said, Alexa's really easy to work with. We've got a pretty good chemistry on the screen as well, I think. So it was a lot to do in that shoot. I think we just about did it.
Well, because we had
at
the exterior location, there was another mower that took 20 minutes of our hour.
Yeah,
and so we had to fake some stuff and just. But it was a very where we literally have this many seconds, and we did it.
Yeah.
Because luckily we
wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, we
not many takes, but we got it done because the done was the important bit. That was a fun film though, because of course that was the first time you weren't the hero, the primary. Actually, every other time you've been a hero.
And it's got lots of Easter eggs in it as well for fans, especially of the original series and the original movies and things like that. It's literally a lot of.
Oh look, Easter egg.
Yeah,
here it is.
It's good fun, really good fun.
We are having a little Zoom glitching again there, but it's
it's gone again.
It's the technology, it's the subspace communications we have between us and Great Britain, but that's okay. Now I wanted to ask, because there was such amazing chemistry between you and Alexa. Is there anything, not between you and Alexa the actress, but anything between your 2 characters potentially going on?
Now, listen, me and Sam talk about this a lot, or I talk about it a lot.
He talks at me about this,
because I think, I sort of have always felt that the 2 characters, the characters have really good chemistry, and they have a lot in common, and the dialogue they have could be quite flirtatious. Sam says no, it's not. It's absolutely not. Whereas I feel like they could, but I don't think they will.
Well, I mean, your future Harriman. I mean, he's only an ensign then.
Yeah, future Harriman gets.
You're married to 3 kids with her. I mean, you would know. You're future Harriman.
Yeah,
you can't say, but you know. He knows this is future Harriman.
I thought there should be, but Sam says there shouldn't be, and he's the boss. So. Plus, that would mean Alexa would have to stand opposite me, like being all in love and stuff, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. She's not like that. No, I don't think she'd be able to pretend that very well. So.
Well, I'll tell you something, Sam.
Yeah, I've always thought the potential is there, personally.
I actually.
You've heard it several times. You've seen that. Well.
It was fascinating for me because she's a captain and he's an ensign, and if it were the other way around, I mean, Kirk has certainly gone after his fair share of yeomans. So it was an interesting dynamic for me to think, what happens when it's a female captain and it's a male ensign? And I was thinking, well, in the future, it shouldn't be an issue at all. And I mean, they do seem to celebrate each other, as equals, not an I outrank you. Although one would find that interesting, during a marital argument. It's like, well, I'm the captain, but which is kind of the way my wife is. So anyway,
I mean. Yeah, I mean, in real life, my real life wife is a midwife. She's got a very good job, and she's quite high. She's sort of middle management in the National Health Service over here, and she's the main breadwinner. She earns the lion's share of the income. So it's sort of the same dynamic, but it's never been an issue for us in real life. So I don't think it'd be an issue for them at all. I think If they loved each other, I don't think it'd matter what their ranks were in.
So how often do you call your wife captain?
Only when she wants me to. Only when she orders me to.
There
yes.
you go. Take your third foot off.
She ain't got a clue what an ensign is, so we're all right. We're all right.
Oh, okay. Now I know that we're starting to get to the end of your time, so I just wanted to wrap up with some Sam stuff. Now, is this coming out? Is this interview coming out and this fan film coming out before you launch your next crowdfunder, or will the next crowdfunder be launching before this? I'm trying to figure out if we should be talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
That has been radically changed by other events like this film we're doing today. That's just coming out as we have to get this other film out because it's ready. There you go. Right, on to the next thing.
So when is your crowdfunder going to be out then?
That's a question. I'll tell you what I know.
Okay, but this interview and this
things are happening.
Oh,
you know.
Oh,
it's complicated.
But this interview and this new film will
we
be
don't
out
know. It's
before the
complicated.
crowdfunder. In other words, I shouldn't tell people go to your crowdfunder and give you money because there might not be a crowdfunder out yet. Okay.
There you go.
But I will tell you that there will be a crowdfunder, and when that comes out, give Sam your money.
You should, yes.
Yes. I give him my money. No, you create some great stuff. So I mean, at this point, Sam, how many of these short treks, these trek shorts, have you released, counting the one that we are talking about that just came out?
Oh, I think we've released 12 so far.
Wow.
This will be Alexa's second. Then we'll have this Prodigy stuff, and then we've got one with Emma and Nim. Then we've got one with Nim, which is she's really good in that. She's really, really good in that one. And then your anniversary piece. I want to make that this year. Well, we made it. Just release it. And probably on course for sort of 6 to 7 mainline films this year.
Wow, it's a lot of good fan films, I got to tell you. So once we hang up, I'm kind of curious here. Marcus, you then go home. How do you get home? Do you get home by train? Do you drive? I don't know how things go in Great Britain there.
It beams.
I beam home. No, I drive. I live a good 70-something miles away. You know, like hour and a half, 2 hour drive away.
Which for England is a substantial trip.
It's quite. Yeah, I get. Yeah, the scales and stuff like that are probably not quite the same.
It's an annoying
Drive,
distance.
but
So thanks for coming.
It's a frustrating drive, shall we say? Very busy road, but yeah, you know, you've got to get it done, haven't you? It's, you know, this is where the camera is and the location is. So yeah, that's how we get the job done.
My single room where we don't know when the day the light goes. Just
Who knows? Just yeah, who knows?
many times we've started and stopped. There's not been light. Give or take.
Kind of like Las Vegas. You go into the casinos and you have no idea if it's day or night, and they don't want you to. So, by the way,
Different reasons for that, though.
Yeah.
A million years ago, I had a girlfriend. She was born in Great Britain, and she grew up in the United States. And she said the main difference between Europeans and Americans is that Europeans think 100 miles is a long distance, and Americans think 100 years is a long time. Anyway,
the tree over there is 200 years old. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
you know.
No, I mean, you guys eat at restaurants that are, like older than some countries. So, it's just, it's hilarious. And of course, I'm in Los Angeles where, there's a scene in LA Story by Steve Martin where he's giving her a tour of the homes. And he goes, some of these houses are more than 20 years old. All right, you guys aren't laughing at Steve Martin nearly as much as we do. All right, anyway, guys, I know I've been keeping my eye on the clock, and I believe we have to let Marcus start his long 70-mile drive back to his family. But I thank you for squeezing us in here and congratulate you on yet more fan film mastery and masterpieces.
You did a good job. A good job.
By the way,
you are getting a world exclusive with him in this uniform. I mean, we haven't announced this film yet, so this is the first thing. We've never been in Picard season 3 era before. So there you go. So it's exclusive. It just happens to be the costume.
Looks marvelous, darling, and looks marvelous. Let me tell you. Well, can't wait to see what you come up with. Hopefully Sam isn't driving you too crazy with his direction. Do you direct him a lot, or is it mostly Marcus just is figuring this stuff out, Sam, and you just go with it?
Which?
Oh, is it mostly, is you directing him and say, okay, this is exactly what I want? Or is it Marcus, you like, Marcus knows what he's doing. I'll just let him figure this out.
So I think it's a you question, really.
No, most. I mean, I'll get the dialogue and I'll sort of interpret it how I think Harriman would interpret it, and then we come in and we'll sort of do a few read-throughs and a few passes, and Stan will just sort of give notes and feedback, and then we'll get up and get in front of the camera. Then it's up to him really to say, yeah, like that. No, try it this way. I'm literally just moving scenery. If you know what I mean, that's my job, is to present what he's written and what he wants to see on the screen.
Because the clear fact is, you might understand if something's emotional. If I do a reference about the Dominion War, you can't relate to that as he would. So you can't know unless I tell you how to feel.
Yeah.
And then once you start understanding, the layers come in, and you can definitely feel that it gets deeper as you go. And
it's very much like a symbiotic process. We're sort of just feeding from each other. And then getting,
well, it's like you're the raw marble. You're really shiny and beautiful. You just got to chisel you into the shape that the final piece needs to be.
Yeah.
But you're there waiting to be seen. Just what the hell's an EPS conduit?
Yeah, still no idea what an EPS conduit is, and I've said it in every film.
Yeah, every other film.
But that was still very poetic, though, Sam. I appreciate that. So you see what I did there? I gave you a little bit of an encore of the interview. We almost wrapped it up, and then boom, interview again, and now back to wrapping it up. So anyway, I do thank you guys for taking a little time here this morning/afternoon, depending on which part of the globe you're on. Wish you all the luck, and looking forward to seeing what you come up with next.
Super job. Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks, guys.